Welcome, heroes. My name is Jeremy, and I'll be DMing this story arc of Total Party Guild, a weekly retrowave-inspired live play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. So put on your 3D glasses, sit back, and enjoy the neon. This week, the guild will be hiring out...
Vanessa Otero playing Jewel von Onyx.
Sean Rowe playing Singer.
And Justin Lamb playing Stennel Bjornsen.
We will be starting with your guild interviews to get to know a little bit more about your characters, why you want to be heroes, and then set you out into the world. So we'll zoom in on West Bank's Adventurers Guild. It's in the midst of the upper end markets with food stalls, peddlers, oddity shops, curios, anything you could want, you could find it if you know the right people. The main hall of the Adventurers Guild is just like any other tavern, just a little bit more rowdy. The adventuring type tends to like to enjoy themselves while they can. The Adventurers Guild itself has a larger plot of land than is regular for the city. Out back, there is a decent-sized stable, a small garden, a small forge, and a little distillery where they can make their own brand. Upstairs, there is a wing of rooms that the adventurers can stay in. They're not much better than any of the inns around. And then they have a wing of offices for the gem ranks. Downstairs are some of the lower ranking gem offices and the storeroom for arms, armor, and magic. Down in the bar sits a whole bunch of awkward hopefuls amongst the rowdy usual crew, ready for interviews to try and get a shot at joining the Adventurers Guild. You see shambly humans in old armor with their father's heirloom sword. You see clerics in grayish robes carrying quarterstaffs and a backpack with a bedroll on top. Among them are a diva in thigh-high designer leather boots with armor and clothes that stand out among them. A tiefling carrying a spear with a large symbol of his thunder god, and a halfling with a sword just about too big for him. A flamboyant halfling comes to the top of the stairs from his office, and he says, "All right, you beautiful people. Up next, we have Jewel von Onyx. It's your turn for the interview." And he looks, and he kind of looks over the banister. Describe yourself.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay. Pale white, human.
Mm-hmm.
She's about 5'8", 110 pounds, late 20s, medium length, platinum blonde hair with auburn colors underneath, a matching streak pinned back from her right temple.
Mm-hmm. Is that natural, or do you dye it like that?
I dye it like that.
Okay.
She has really sharp cheekbones and wide gray eyes, plump lips, arcing eyebrows. She basically looks like Deborah Harry from the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing a gray belted tunic with a vest made of zebra skin that's been dyed teal, fawn brown leather pants, and knee-high, super expensive-looking black riding boots. 3 gold bangles on her right wrist, and modest but also expensive-looking earrings. Gray-blue cloak with gold accents, and the top part kind of wraps around like a shawl, and the front goes down longer than the back, which kind of like stops at her butt and becomes like a thin tail.
Oh, okay.
And
so it's like a mantle with a tail on it?
Metagaming, it's a cloak of the manta ray. So it's like a manta ray is hugging her with the tail hanging down, kind of. She carries a very nice looking backpack. Everything about her looks like it costs a lot of money. There's a tiny instrument case secured to it. She has a hand crossbow and a rapier at her hips. She has a dagger strapped to her thigh.
Yeah.
She just kind of smirks a lot and watches people.
Okay, cool. I dig it. It's very rock star, glam rock.
I stand up and walk towards him.
Oh, Great. And he beckons you up the stairs. He has a shorter human with brown hair and thin glasses behind him with a clipboard. And he himself is a shorter, auburn-haired with kind of tan skin. And his hair is like coiffed in almost a pompadour-like way. His clothes are loose-fitting, but in almost like a hippie chic kind of way. He has like a loose-fitting doublet with a vest and some beads, multiple necklaces, like bandoliers, bracelets, and some nice-looking moccasins. He always has a little bit of paint on his face or on his sleeves. So you go up to the top of the stairs? Yeah. And he goes almost to the end of the I don't want to say hallway because there's a banister that overlooks, but almost to the end of the row. And it's the second door from the end on the left. He just goes in. When you turn the corner to look, his office is a disaster. There's paint splattered on the walls. There's old easels half painted with depictions of crazy dream landscapes, adventurers fighting oversized monsters, dragons swooping in and breathing fire on cities, demons coming out of portals with adventurers standing in front at the ready. There's a pile of clothes. And you see in the corner, he has a sleeping English bulldog. The human lady with the short brown hair kind of stops for a second while you walk forward, and she says, "Excuse the mess," really quietly.
Are they good paintings?
Yes, they are immaculate. They are some of the best paintings you've ever seen in your life.
All right. Definitely look around and take it all in.
Yeah. He goes to his desk, which is at the far end of the room. There is some nice plush leather chairs in front of it. There's a pair of them. He plops himself in the seat, just points to one of the plush chairs.
All right. I sit in one.
Yeah. Martha, can you get Jewel some tea, please? And she just nods and goes to the side. He kind of wrings his hands to warm them up, and he looks you up and down. And he says, "So, Adventurers Guild. Why?"
Well, I think I can make a difference. I've spent the last few years partying, and I've seen a lot of the bad that humanity has to offer, and I think I can help contribute to the good and maybe make up for some of the bad I might have helped contribute.
So, as a sidebar, are you against having people know your rockstar identity? Because if anyone would know, he would.
No, it's no secret. Like,
Okay.
people know who I am.
Okay.
I feel like it's probably a little embarrassing, but it's not really a secret.
Okay. Candidly, he says, It's amazing to me that Julie would want to go from a life of grandeur and partying to a life wading through dungeons and helping caravans get to the next city or slaying dragons. That's a lot of risk when I've heard your name at least. So I know you're doing well for yourself.
Well, I am, and I have enough money to keep my family supported. My sister passed away recently, and I feel like if somebody would have been there to help her, she wouldn't have. So maybe I can be somebody else's sister and help them.
He nods and he says, That's really admirable. That's really beautiful. So speaking of family, tell me a little bit about yours," he says.
Well, my parents are here in West Bank. They own a little bakery. I have a brother who's part of the city guard. He doesn't really have the strive to be an adventurer, but I don't know. You know the type. And
he laughs. And he gets out a small drawing pad and a pencil. And he sits back and he looks at you and then he starts doodling.
Adjust to do my best angle.
And he smirks. And he's just going. It's like a charcoal pencil.
Yeah. After the death of my sister, my mom didn't take it very well. So she's been kind of sickly and reclusive. And my dad's been maintaining the bakery for the most part. They're local to West Bank. They grew up, they were born and raised. I was born and raised here. Yeah.
So you understand the risks of joining the Adventurers Guild if you make it in, right?
Absolutely.
Does your family know you're doing this?
My dad does.
And how's he taking it?
He's apathetic towards the idea.
Okay. All right. So enough about personal. I mean, your music is great, and
Thank you.
it'll be interesting to see how you can adapt to these new situations. So tell me a little bit about what you think you can bring to the table. I mean, it's life and death out there. You'll form a group, go on quests. A lot of it is just finding missing people, helping cities get rid of rampaging monsters. It's grungy work, so...
I've discovered I have the ability to tap arcane power. I don't have a lot of direct destructive powers, but I definitely have a lot of supportive. I'm good at inspiring people to move just a little bit faster and hit just a little bit harder. And
Martha brings you your tea.
Thank you.
And then she goes and stands behind Milo in a very formal manner.
All right. Is she taking notes, or is she just standing in a
She has a clipboard, but her pencil's not moving.
Oh, weird.
It's the appearance of doing something.
Fantastic. I definitely have a way of getting myself out of sticky situations with, not to brag, but a little bit of charm and the ability to enhance that charm with arcane. So I guess if you had to classify me, I'd be a bard. Fitting, I guess, for my profession, but definitely studied at the College of Glamour.
And he says, OMG. And he slaps his face and he drops the pencil. And he says, a glamour bard. I always wanted to study at that school, but I get stage fright so bad. I lent myself more to painting, as you can see all over the place here.
It's beautiful.
And he says, I know. But I always wanted to be able to sing. My voice is a little hoarse, but...
Just have to practice. The more you practice, the better you get. I mean, you paint, you know.
And he shrugs and nods. Anyway, enough about me. As much as I like to talk about myself. Bardic College, that's great to know. I know a bit about what you can do then. Tell me about how well you do in a team. I know in our profession, we do have a lot of supportive abilities, but it's always up to the individual. So do you have any examples or...
Well... Not super admirable, but I've definitely come out of a couple bar fights ahead on the winning team, if you can be a winning team in a bar fight.
and he laughs, like full belly laughs, just for a minute. Assuming you get through, find Danae somewhere downstairs. You and her will get along just so well.
Right.
She's a human, probably around your age with dark hair, but she is definitely a party animal.
All right. Well, my partying days are behind me a bit, but I'll definitely check her out.
Well, I mean, that's something. I guess we can see how well you do in a practical test.
Okay. What would that entail exactly?
So we set up a dungeon that we've cleared outside of town, and we have our higher ranking members set up a room to something they've seen in the real world, or at least something like it. So we give them full creative control over their area, and it's up to you and your team. We'll assign you a team to figure out each room and overcome it using your own abilities. We'll give you a goal at the beginning, and it's up to you to make it through, and depending on how well you do, you may make it, you may not. Teamwork is important, but we have had it to where individuals have passed and the rest of their team has not. So don't worry so much about people holding you back. Just do your best. Our proctors are very experienced and they know what to look for.
Well, I have a hard time taking a hit, so I'm definitely about bolstering the people that can take a hit.
And he laughs and he says, yes, I've been there myself. Thank the Lords, my adventuring days are over. On a final note, what do you hope to gain from joining the guild?
As selfish as it seems, I just hope to feel better about myself, help some people, and feel like I've evened the scales a little bit.
And he nods and he says, that's very admirable, very beautiful. And he says, you are a beautiful person, Jewel.
Thank you. Pat my hair a little bit.
And it's mostly done, but he slides over his charcoal drawing, and it's like the hyper-realistic drawing.
Wow.
Yeah, everything looks exactly as it would in your little mirror.
Wow. It's amazing.
And he says, you can give it to a fan.
Fantastic.
And he says, is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything that I should know moving forward to practical exams?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm good. Told you everything there is to know about me.
Yeah.
What you haven't already read in the tabloids.
Yeah.
It's all true.
Well, that's a worry too, but I'm glad to hear you're doing better.
Yes.
And he says, okay, well, I think I've heard enough to get an idea about who you are. I do think I want to move forward with you in a practical exam. This is just more of a personality test.
Cool.
So go ahead and head out to the bar. After interviews, we'll announce teams and move forward.
All right. I'll just thank both of them,
Yeah.
and I'll take my cup of tea and kind of salute them or cheers them, and head down back to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Some tea.
Yeah, and as you head out, you hear them both scribbling some, and Jewel goes downstairs. What do you do when you get downstairs?
I figure it's probably going to take a while, so I'm just going to walk outside, finish my tea, and kind of set it on a table, and then walk out the doors.
When you're outside, the street itself, it's pretty wide, but a lot of it has like big cloth canopies. So it's like half sunlight letting through, half like canvas. Canopies dyed different colors. There are street vendors out there. There are open-faced shops selling all types of antiquities and oddities. Like straight across is the curio shop that a lot of the drunk adventurers like to go poke at stuff. The curio shop makes a lot of money just from that. Adventurers having to cover broken items, so they purposefully pack the stuff a little too tight so it breaks. But out front there's vials filled with like weird, swirling, scintillating liquids. There's a big glass jar with a cork hammered in deep, and it has like a purple goop, and you can see like octopus tentacles kind of sliding against the glass, but nothing through it. The people of West Bank are as diverse as they could be. So there's tieflings, dragonborn, occasional goblins, kenku, sometimes they're furbolg. It's still mostly humans, but if there's a somewhat common race that has some type of showing here. Up the street, you see 4 tieflings with burlap sacks and pokey like walking sticks picking up litter and putting it in the bag. They all have like ponchos that say Tiefling Outreach. A little bit of history. So the Tiefling Outreach was started. A board of tieflings could try and dissuade the stereotype that all tieflings have evil sub-themes. So they do good in the community to try and get rid of that stereotype.
They're picking up people's garbage.
Yeah. Is there anything out there you want to do?
No, I'll just breathe in the fresh city air and maybe walk outside along the curiosity shop and just window shop and not really go in.
Yeah. When you get close to take a look, you hear glass shatter, and then you hear a big guttural, "Oh, god damn it!" And you see inside that there's a dragonborn, and his tail hit a shelf behind him and knocked over a couple of vials. And there's an old human woman with white hair done up into an oversized messy bun and a hunchback, and she just walks forward with her hand out expectantly.
Oh no.
All right, we'll go back inside the Adventurers Guild Tavern. Moments after you see the rockstar head outside, Milo and his assistant come to the top of the stairs. Singer? There's no last name. Singer?
Gentle Rains. Yes, that would be me.
Singer, describe yourself.
I am a tiefling, and my skin is like an azure bluish color. My eyes are pure white. There's no iris. It has...
That's super creepy.
Yeah, tieflings are awesome. I have horns that they start right here, and they kind of like ridge outwards.
Yeah, so the middle of your forehead, and they curl around like a crown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have ridges on them, so it's like, imagine almost like the Shredder's helmet with the ridges instead of horns like that. And I have long white hair that I pulled down into a nice little ponytail. And I'm wearing longer blue-gray robes, like a combination of them, and then gray pants and a shield with my spear. And my necklace is just 2 very simple little metal jagged bolts with a gold ring wrapped around it.
Okay. He looks as you're waving, and he gives you the once over and just beckons you up the stairs.
I get up and I put my glass of whatever I was drinking down, and I make my way upstairs.
And you follow him down to the same room, second door on the left. And you see the same thing. Messy
Oh,
artistry.
Ooh, that looks nice, yes. Yeah, all these yours?
And as he's walking towards the desk back to you, he says, yes, I've painted every one.
That's beautiful, yes. Sister Rafalia says that my painting needs work.
And he
Put my
laughs.
spear back down, my shield next to me.
He laughs and he says, if you make it, I can give you lessons.
That would be wonderful.
Rafalia, as he circles his desk and plops down in his chair, what temple is that? That's up in the mountains, isn't it?
You know Sister Rafalia?
And he laughs and he says, I've been around. He gets under his desk for a moment and you hear canvas and wood banging against each other. And there's a small 10 by 10 little square canvas. And he shows it to you. And it looks like your temple.
Oh, you've been all the way to the Voice of the Mountain Monastery. That's quite impressive. We don't get a lot of visitors.
Well, I heard about it from some other adventurers, and I thought I should see for myself. Yeah, it's quiet. It's just a bunch of old nuns.
Well, perhaps back when you were there, but now there's a lot of young nuns.
Oh, yeah, I suppose time to change. Have a seat.
Thank you. And I sit down.
Yeah, and the assistant brings you tea right away.
And I pour it immediately. Oh, thank you. Yes, tea.
And it's lukewarm.
Oh, that's...
Because leftover from Jewel's interview.
That's very nice.
So, down from the monastery, why the guild? Why wouldn't you stay in your monastery and follow your gods? He says very, in bold, your god's will.
Well, funny you should mention that. My god's will is to get me out of the monastery and into the wider world, for reasons I do not know.
He strokes his chin for a second and looks up. Isn't it your god, the thunder god?
Yes, the thunder speaker.
Thunder speaker. What was her name?
Zalia.
Zalia. And he nods. And why would Zalia want a disciple to come join the Adventurers Guild in West Bank? Your monastery is closer to Angkor.
Yes, I don't know. Directions, maybe? I'm not quite good with that. I just wandered from the mountains and found my way here, and I thought, adventurers, they're people that do adventure-y things. Perhaps she wants me to go adventure. And she spoke to me and said yes. So there I am.
Well, anyways, God or not, I admire your spirit.
Oh, good.
This is all your god's will. Tell me a little bit about monastery life. Who you know, how they feel about you doing this?
Trying
to do this.
All of them are very excited for me. Yes, they all wanted to see me succeed at this great endeavor for our goddess, and they were very happy and very tearful. I'm assuming tears of joy as I left the monastery to go off and do this adventure. Yes.
So as you're talking, he gets a small palette with wet paint or half wet paint on it, and he gets a blank canvas and he starts finger painting your likeness.
Great. So anyways, the monastery life is quite quiet for the most part, and although we do exercises, yes, and the storm stances, which my matron mother says that maybe one day, if I practice really hard, I'll figure out how to do it properly.
All right, so, I mean, you know the risks of joining the Adventurers Guild and what it entails, right?
I do.
You know that while the pay can be very good, I mean, you are risking your life and limb.
Sure, yes. Pay is not really something that I care too much about. It's more the endeavor, facing the risks and going out there and proving myself to my god. I don't know how much you know about Zalia, but she
shakes his head, bobs his head.
She believes more in action than words, and to go out and make something of yourself. We live in the mountains, and that's very harsh territory. It's very difficult to survive out there, but that's exactly how she likes it. Only the strongest and toughest-willed individuals, and perhaps I was getting a little bit on the pudgy side. So here I am, trying to prove my worth, one would say.
You have a beautiful disposition, he says.
Thank you.
All right, so what kind of skills do you bring to the guild?
Well, I would like to say that I learned quite well underneath the nuns at the monastery, but unfortunately, all of them say that my stances are not the best, and that if I were to practice more, I would understand the flow of things. So instead, Sister Serafina, she taught me a little bit of her old mercenary ways, back when she was a part of mercenary band. They were shield and pikemen, although I have the spear, see? Yes. So I'm a little bit more of a get up in front and lead the charge and make sure my friends are safe.
Leading with that, you do well on the team then?
Do I what now?
You do well on a team. You said you make sure your friends are safe.
Oh, yes, of course. You have to work together in the mountains to survive. I am with like I said, the nuns, and there's plenty of farmers and the sheep herders, and occasionally we have the goblins that come down from the mountains that we have to tend with, and there was that one or two giants that did show up.
And his eyes kind of widen.
Yeah. They're not the easiest, one would say, to engage in combat. There was a lot of running and screaming. But yeah, we all made it past that now, didn't we? The survivors.
The survivors.
Yes.
Okay. Well, given that, tell me a situation that you had a direct effort in overcoming. An adventure, a trial.
One time, there was a farmer whose goat had injured itself, and I had to climb halfway down the mountain to get it, and then I carried it on my back up the mountain, and then after I made it to the top of the mountain, I patched it up, which was much more difficult feat than you would imagine. Goats are not the nicest of individuals. I had to sit on it and then tend its wounds and make it so that way it was able to travel yet again. And after that, I brought it all the way back to the farmer with only a handful of injuries.
So, let me get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
You climbed down a mountain, down a cliffside.
Yes.
For an injured goat.
Yes.
You carried it back up, forcibly healed it, and then you still got it back to the farmer with new injuries.
No, me injured.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Also, half of my robe was eaten, so that was.
Yeah, goats do that.
They do, yes. But the goat was all right. I get along well with goats.
And he says, "I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yes,
goats are funny. The lanterns are on, but there's no one home.
For the most part, yes. Have you seen their eyes? Very creepy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think you'll do well in a team." You being isolated for most of your life is a worry a little bit, but adventures come in all flavors.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would like to move forward with you in a practical exam.
Oh, good.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to this interview?
I can make good tea.
That tea wasn't to your liking?
It was decent. It was decent tea. It was decent tea.
Martha. And
but I'm sure
she's just
we can,
sheepish,
we can work together to make it even better tea of the proper temperature.
The proper temperature, he laughs. If you make it, I'll make you master of tea ceremonies.
Well, a title already. I'm very excited about that. Thank you.
All right, so we have these interviews to get through. After we're done with the interviews, we're going to announce assigned teams for the practical exam. Be back around sundown. You can hang out downstairs in the bar, get something to eat, something to drink. Mm-hmm. There are a bunch of shops right outside that you might want to take a look at. Mm-hmm. We'll be announcing names later tonight. Look forward to seeing how you do.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah. Any odds?
Get up and I gather my things and go back downstairs. If my table is still open, I sit back down and continue drinking whatever it was that I was drinking.
Your table is no longer open.
Oh, damn.
There's a furbolg and a half-orc on it playing cards.
What game is that?
52 card pickup, the half-orc says, and he flicks the deck at you.
Oh.
Like a bridge.
Oh, that's a very terrible game, and I wouldn't recommend it.
And he slaps his knee and does a big hearty guffaw. He says, no, I'm just messing with you, newbie, and he pats your shoulder. Have a seat. We'll play poker.
Oh, good. And I sit down, and how do you play poker?
The furbolg says very gently, I'll teach you because he'll teach you wrong. And the half-orc laughs.
Oh, good. Yes. Friends already.
So the cards, they start picking themselves up off the floor
Oh.
and in a pile. And you take a look, and there are floating trays about.
Oh, wow. That's
With
very...
food.
Oh, I'll snap one of those. These are for free, right?
And the half-orc says, no.
Oh, no.
The Furbolg softly says, oh, it's just unseen servants. The bartender up there's a mage, and he just makes it easier.
Oh, all right. And I wave.
And he doesn't notice. He's just cleaning a glass. The Furbolg actually teaches you how to play poker.
Fantastic.
The half-orc, all the while, is trying to make it so he has an edge. After you realize that he just says it's a joke. Is there anything else you want to do in the meantime?
Not particularly, no. Yeah.
You're just playing for
Been
coppers.
on the road. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just chilling out, making new friends.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's it.
A few minutes pass, and Milo comes back out with Martha, and he says, Dove? And a halfling in a white shirt. She has blonde hair, tan skin, and like tighter pants with old boots. Just stands up, and she just has a staff. And she looks really shy and sheepish, but she just walks up the stairs without saying anything. About 15 minutes pass, and she comes back down and just takes a seat and she just grabs a drink that was sitting there and just starts drinking it. A few minutes later, Stennel Bjornsen? Is there Stennel?
Sorry, Dove. That's me. I've got to go. Hang on. And I'm going to pound the flagon, which was mostly full. And I'm just going to
It just starts spilling out around the sides down onto your shirt.
Hang on. No, it was great to meet you. All right. How do I look? All right.
She kind of shyly looks up and waves her finger, and the alcohol in your shirt's gone. And she just gives you like a little thumbs up.
Thanks.
And she says, good luck.
She said, good luck. Okay, and I run up the stairs.
You run up the stairs.
Of course.
Milo looks startled at first. And he says, you have beautiful enthusiasm when you get to the top.
Thank you. So do you. Wait.
He leads you into the office. Martha serves you cold tea.
I take the tea and sniff it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And I kick some of the paintings out of the way as I go.
And he says, no, don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't kick my paintings.
What?
Have a seat.
I was just nudging it. It was sliding in the way, and I put it back for you.
Yeah. Describe yourself.
Well, I'm a barbarian halfling, so I'm a little guy with a lot of heart. I imagine, just old worn tunics. I've got a breastplate that's all kind of beat up, battered. Probably secondhand. A lot of these dents probably aren't mine, I imagine. Yeah. But I've got a long sword and a couple hand axes and a couple javelins and a dagger. And those are all well kept.
Yeah. What about like hair, height, skin color, like body type?
No, I've got darker tanned skin. It's a little bit leathery. I've been in the sun a lot.
Yeah.
I've got short brown hair that you don't really see because it's underneath a hood. I've got a cloak made out of a full like badger skin, and then the hood of the cloak is like the head of the badger.
Yeah. Is the skull in it, or is it?
No, there's no skull.
Okay.
No, that would be weird.
Yeah.
But I imagine green eyes.
All right, so you sit down in the seat. Martha serves you cold tea after you kick Milo's beautiful paintings out of the way.
Nudged them.
You see on his desk he has a very like a Van Gogh style picture of the Tiefling cleric that walked down the stairs. When you sit down, he breaks out another canvas and a small paintbrush and looks at you and starts going. So he says, Stennel, why is it that you're interested in joining the Adventurers Guild?
Well, adventuring's really my second choice. I was born for piracy. And
he grimaces.
Oh, no. Don't get the wrong idea. We were good pirates. We were the good guys. We, left people alive sometimes. But yeah, after the fleets out from Ramadia kind of tightened their defenses, it's just not as much money in piracy anymore,
To you, this is just a job.
Yeah, isn't this a job interview?
I mean, in a way, yeah, but a lot of people, they come with, I want to do good, I want to help people. Occasionally we get people that just want to make some steady money, but
No, yeah, of course. I wanna help the people.
And he chuckles. It looks like I'll have to give a little pep talk after this one. If this is just a job, do you have any family out there? Do you have anyone close to you that knows you're doing this, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't have even gotten into piracy in the first place if it wasn't for my brother.
So is your brother still a pirate?
Huh? Oh, no. My older brother, Ren, after our parents passed, he sold everything. He sold the house, he sold the land. I've got nothing left to go back to. He's literally the worst person in the world.
And he nods, listening to you. Where is Ren now?
Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be here.
I see.
I'd put him in a headlock.
Yeah, give him the old brother noogie. We'll leave it at brother noogie. All right, so after Ren disappeared with your family livelihood, tell me about what happened.
Huh? Oh, I eventually made my way to Point Hope and, from there found steady work. Maybe not honest work, but it was work. And I found my calling on the seas. Sailing is what I love to do.
So you've seen a lot of places, though.
Oh, yeah. Loads of places. Lots of different types of ships. The outsides of the ships. The insides of the ships.
That's all the ships.
Yeah. Sometimes up in the crow's nest.
Where's your favorite port?
I don't know. West Bank is pretty nice.
He says, it is nice here. That is why I settled down. Good choice. It's good choice.
Yeah, great gambling.
Yeah. If anything, you have good taste.
Thanks. I puff my chest up a little bit.
All right, so you have a brother out there. Do you have any other family? A wife? Kids?
Huh? No.
No? Not that you know of.
No. None you can prove.
That's true, I suppose. What do you bring to the guild? What are your skills? How can you function in the field?
At this point, Stennel's just gonna get up and take his breastplate off and just flex. Just really flex the muscles out there. Get the squeeze in, pop the pecs out.
Yeah. So you see him stop with the paintbrush and look, and grab another one and dip it in a flesh-colored paint.
Oh, here we go. Wait. No. I've got more. And then I turn around. I show my back. I flex the back. See these?
You're the most ripped halfling. So
they call me Bjorn Swolson.
Yes. Oh, jeez. Well, you'll fit in. Okay, so you're strong. You understand the risks of doing this type of work. I mean, if you've been into piracy before and you're trying to reform yourself, and he looks at Martha, reform himself, you understand what you need to do. And the risks involved, risking life and limb, the pay can be decent, but, you'll be fighting monsters mostly, or rescuing people.
Rescuing. Well, you did say pay. Yeah, no, I'm not worried. Honestly, they need to watch out for me.
Confidence is good. That last girl in here could really use some. Maybe I'll pair her up with you.
Who?
Dove. And you're strong. What do you do? Have you been a trained fighter? How'd you learn to handle yourself?
So I was in an Adonis pose.
Down on one knee.
Yeah. Mostly I just get mad. I found out when I was really young that when I got really, really mad about something, I could pick up my brother and throw him across the creek. It was great. And then no one wanted to mess with me.
And he nods and says, do you think that might be why he sold everything and ran off?
What?
Never mind. It's nothing, he says. How do you work in a team? Life on the seas, you depend on each other a lot. Can you give me an instance of a time when you had to overcome something as a team and what your part was in it?
Absolutely. Teamwork is the most important thing. If the captain says hold, and if you jump from one ship to the other too soon, you end up in the water. And that's not as fun. But if you listen to the captain when he shouts board, then you jump, then you get to the other ship.
It says, I'm not too familiar with nautical terms, but I do believe that's how that works. Okay, so can you use that and give me an example of something you overcame, where you were a key part in that challenge?
Do I have to use the pirate one now?
No, it's an open-ended question. I'm just trying to get a feel for you as a person to see if I think a practical exam would be worthwhile.
There was this one time that we'd all boarded a merchant vessel, and you're laughing. Is this a bad example? I'll change it.
He smiles and he says, maybe stealing from innocent people isn't such a good example.
But we were giving to the poor.
Were you?
We were poor.
Can you roll me a bluff check?
I mean, he might have actually been
deception.
poor.
Yeah, deception, sorry. Old editions.
Bluff check. That's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. And he smirks. And he says, okay, continue.
Well, I remember that I was outnumbered, and it was 3-1, and I looked really dashing. I had longer hair then, and the wind had hit my hair, but it just, I was swinging, shoo, shoo, and I'll like jump up on the seat, and I'm like swinging the sword around, and I'm barely missing the paintings. And I was like, yeah.
Martha has gone into the corner
But it was
to get a safe distance from you.
But they kept closing in, and they were really heavily armored, just big armored guys on the ship, and it was full steel plates, and oh my gosh, and they were big and scary, and they're 7 feet tall. And then, my friend Finch on the ship, he fired a cannon, and 3 of them right at once, right in a line. It was beautiful. It was teamwork.
He stares off into the distance. So you're fighting 3 armored individuals at sea?
Yeah.
And they're 7 feet tall. And you
They were tall
lined
guys.
them up for a cannon blast?
Well, it was a good day.
He nods. Are you telling the truth as a DM?
As a DM.
Yeah, as a DM, I'm asking you if you're telling the truth.
On the sea, tales grow with the telling. Something like that happened.
Okay.
But
Yeah, you're just
there were
embellishing it quite a bit.
there was some embellished detail.
And he laughs to himself and he says, I feel generous today. What the heck? I'll give you a shot.
Thanks! You won't regret it, boss. Do I call you boss?
I'd prefer not. Guildmaster is appropriate.
It's a mouthful. I mean, thank you, Guildmaster.
And he says, is there anything else you would like to add, Stennel, that might help me make a decision moving forward?
I'm loyal. Once you've hired me, I'll be loyal to the guild and loyal to you.
You know, that's really helpful to know. Loyalty is very important to the guild, especially. We always work in tandem. We always have to have each other's backs. We take, as you would say, I believe, mutiny very seriously. And if any of your teammates in the field ever feel like you as an individual and don't have their best interest in mind, they let us know and we handle things very quickly. So that's very important to me. And that's probably the best thing you've said this whole interview, Stennel. All right, I will assign you a team. You can hang out in the bar. We have a few more interviews to get through, and we'll make announcements shortly.
Jump up and try and give him a hug.
He doesn't stop you, but he looks uncomfortable. And you see his small canvas is a painting of you, and it's in the Adonis pose. It looks like he was starting to draw armor, and he turned it into like a gladiatorial like chest harness, and then he switched to the flesh color and drew you just like buff. He just like drew you in a field, kind of like statuesque, and he hands it to you.
Oh,
More,
all right.
more to get you off him, kind of. He's like, take this.
Wow, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a drawing of me before.
And he says, maybe it will teach you something.
I look at it and then I like flip it around, hold it up to the light.
Maybe you will take care of it.
Oh, yeah. Of course. It's me. Is that what I look like from that angle?
And he says, Martha, please show him up.
I just like Like I'm holding it out in front of my face,
and
as
she
I
just
pat out.
Yeah, she lightly guides you by your shoulders, open-handed.
Yeah.
It's gently, but it's forceful. You walk down the stairs and find a spot. Is there anything you want to do in the meantime?
I need a fresh flagon. Gotta celebrate.
Yeah. You see a tiefling playing cards with a furbolg and a half-orc. There's a bard playing just kind of a shanty tune on a concertina, which is the small accordion. There is a woman wearing very, very revealing leather clothing, and she has really bad tattoos all over herself. And she's out there shaking her booty like Bender. She doesn't know how to dance. She's got no rhythm, but she's just getting it. There's a half-elf sitting at a table just laughing at her while she's laughing at herself. There's a bunch of people at the bar eating. There's an elf sitting at a table with a bunch of fangirls. He's very, very well dressed, and he's got too much jewelry on his ears.
I'm just gonna sidle up to the bar, get myself another drink. Maybe watch the bender.
The bender.
Watch the bender dance.
Yeah, and she's out there just wiggling like a bee, trying to talk to you. Milo calls in a few more people, and they go in 15, 20 minutes later. They come down. Two of them will just leave the bar. What do you do after you see the Dragonborn knock that stuff off the shelf in the curio shop?
Kind of shrugged to myself and watched the old lady. It's not really panhandling, but demanding money for knocking stuff over.
She's not even saying anything. Right. She's just holding her hand out waiting, and the Dragonborn gets his coin purse out and drops them. And she shakes her head no, and he drops a couple more.
I'll just people watch for a while, and then once I get bored, I'll wander back inside.
Okay, you wander back in and you see the same thing. Stennel's watching that girl shake her booty, and Singer is playing cards. And a few moments later, Milo's assistant comes out with a chair in her hands and puts it against the banister upstairs. And then Milo stands in it, so he's higher than the banister. Listen up, everyone. And it takes a moment for the rowdy crew to quiet down, but everyone stops and watches him. And he says, so I have the announcement for this week's admissions test. We are only moving forward with 6. If your name's not called, try again next time. The 2 teams will be as follows. Team A will be Dove, Marin, and Grandma Rye. Team B will be Stennel Bjornsen, Singer, and Jewel von Onyx.
Yeah.
They all start looking at each other, necking around. Find your team. We'll be leaving tomorrow at dawn for Team A, the day after at dawn for Team B. If you're not here, try again next time. Be prepared. It is a life or death situation. Prepare yourself, steel yourself. We'll explain the rules when we get to the site. Until then, feel free to enjoy the bar, get to know, hopefully, your future guildsmen, and see the city. I hope to see you all in the next coming mornings. Have some fun, get some rest, and we'll see you soon. And he hops off the chair. His assistant grabs the chair and follows him back into his office. You see a bunch of the other adventurers just start cussing or grumble to themselves, or there's a pair that walks out. I would say maybe 9 other people clear out. What do you guys do?
I'd like to imagine that I was showing that little painting to Dove.
Mm-hmm.
You're oh, and then you made it. Oh,
and she's when you first show her, she looks kind of disgusted, and then when you look away, she kind of leans in. When you look back, she's just super bashful.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm sure you'll get one of yours. I'm sure just ask him.
She shows you. She has a paper of herself. It's done in pencil, and it's just a thick line drawing.
That's really different than mine.
All right, so you're showing Dove your gross painting of your abs.
Oh, he said I'm going to learn from it, so I'm wondering if there's invisible text or something, a little holding it to the torchlight.
Uh-huh.
Can you see it?
And as you're looking at it in the light, she just kind of quietly gets up and shuffles away. She walks over to a half-elf with blackish gray hair and a big braid, wearing breastplate armor, and a dark elf with goggles on and white hair, wearing robes.
Is the lady who was dancing still dancing?
Yeah.
I wander over to her and I'm, gentle Reigns.
She's backing it up on a guy that's sitting down and laughing.
I'm Singer. Are you Jewel?
and she laughs. I don't know who a Jewel is. I don't know. I mean, does it say that on my back?
No.
On her back, it says Ted. As a tramp stamp.
No, wrong person. My apologies. I turn around and start looking.
I will wave you down.
I wander up to you. Gentle Rains, I'm Singer.
I'm Jewel von Onyx.
A pleasure. Shake hands.
Yep. Yeah. And you over here.
I just sneak up behind you, just clap you on the back really hard. Looks like we're on this together.
Right on my butt.
Oh, you and me. And
Just the right height.
and you, yeah. Stennel.
Jewel.
I know.
Oh, you know each other. Oh,
Never met you before.
Yeah, you play the music.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You play music. That's great.
I used to.
Yeah, I heard about
play
you.
music.
I mean, I still do, just not professionally.
You professionally used to play music, and now you no longer do. Gotcha. All right. Now I'm on the same. Yes.
So where are y'all from?
The mountains.
Oh.
The sea.
Oh. And land.
With our dice combined.
You got one day and then the next dawn before you leave to the site. Is there anything you want to do in West Bank before you get to the site?
Cities are scary. So, no.
So if you guys aren't from here, do you have places to stay? Are you staying here?
Am I? Are we?
You're not at
Can
this
we?
point.
No. No, I was going to find a place to sleep.
Oh, you guys can stay at my place
Oh.
if you'd like. I can handle myself.
Sure. I just learned how to play cards.
Oh.
Slumber
I'll
party.
name like a bunch of like Perth Hold'em or
Yeah.
Blackjack. What kind of?
Well, I first learned 52 pickup,
Oh.
and then after
Oh,
this, I learned cards.
Oh, cool. You'll have to teach me.
Oh, I will be most happy to teach you. And do you know how to play cards?
Of course. That's the half of all we did on the sea. I can teach you Alabaster Disaster or the West Bank Shank. That one's really good.
Oh,
You hear from across the bar. That was fun. You should play that one.
yes, I would be more than happy to learn all of these different cards.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
You guys are planning a summer party at Jewel's.
My family owns a bakery.
That smells
Can I meet
amazing.
your family?
Yeah, you can meet my. Yeah, I actually don't live at home. Things are awkward between
Yeah, probably not.
me and my family,
And you're an adult.
and I'm an adult that supports my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll live down the street from the bakery. It's definitely bigger than you need for one person.
Yeah.
Oh, it's homie.
I know so many people. They like come in from out of town and stay, and
It's owned by your agency.
yeah,
They just let you live there.
yeah. It's not really mine.
Yeah.
But you tell everyone it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of. Mostly.
I mean, it's pretty much paid for from like my performances over the years. But
Hey, if it's got your stuff in it.
yeah,
You couldn't sell it, but it's your stand.
yeah, yeah.
You get to Jewel's loft. You want to describe your living quarters?
It's modest. There's a lot of seating because I'm used to hosting a lot of people at my house. There's not a lot of personal effects in it. It's just kind of
I immediately will find tea and start brewing some for everyone.
absolutely.
All right. We'll end this episode here.
Remember to send us your memes and dice pics on Twitter and Instagram at Total Party Guild or hashtag Topagu. That's TOPAGU. And join our Facebook page, facebook.com/Total Party Guild. We have a modest website, totalpartyguild.com, where we're setting up a wiki, our blog, and info on the cast, interviews with the characters, and details about the continent of Arosa.
Be sure to rate and review us on your podcast platform of choice. It's especially important to get us seen and promoted. If you love it, others might too. A guild of many defeats more monsters.
Party on!